Okay, let's dive into a challenge pretty much everyone faces at some point. You're deep into a project, maybe like putting together this press kit you've been working on, the deadline is staring you down, and then, despite your best efforts, something pops up that makes hitting that original date look, well, impossible.
Oh yeah, it's that universal moment of dread, isn't it? Projects rarely unfold in a perfect linear fashion. Dependencies don't align, unexpected issues arise. You've given us a stack of sources that offer some, well, incredibly practical guidance on how to navigate this specific moment.
Exactly. Our mission in this deep dive, based on the material you shared with us, is to extract the absolute key insights on how to professionally and, effectively ask for a deadline extension.
Right.
This isn't about making excuses. It's about mastering the language and professional etiquette to manage expectations and timelines when things go off course.
It really is. It's about maintaining your credibility and demonstrating strong project management, even when facing setbacks that might be outside your direct control. Let's unpack what your sources reveal.
So, the material you provided doesn't really waste time explaining what a deadline is. It jumps right into why they held so much weight, in the professional world.
Yeah, and what's crucial here is understanding that a deadline isn't just some arbitrary date for your task alone. Your sources really emphasize that deadlines are often deeply interconnected. They're linked to product launches, marketing campaigns, other team members' work.
Right, client commitments.
Exactly, even client commitments and financial forecasts. Missing one can create significant ripple effects.
Yeah, it's like part of a larger ecosystem, isn't it? Your individual task has dependencies, and other people's tasks depend on yours.
Precisely. And this interconnectedness is why the core insight about communication from your sources is so critical. The moment you suspect or, know you might miss that deadline, you must communicate it proactively. Delaying that conversation is often far more damaging than the delay itself.
Because from your boss's or the stakeholder's perspective, they need lead time, right? They need to understand the potential impact to adjust plans, reallocate resources, maybe mitigate any fallout for those connected projects.
Absolutely. Being blindsided at the 11th hour is the real problem.
Yeah.
That's what really erodes trust.
Okay. So that proactive communication starts with knowing how to phrase the request professionally. And your sources highlight the essential vocabulary for this conversation.
Yes, they do.
Which brings us to the primary professional term, extension.
Extension, yes.
Yeah.
It's the word that signals you understand the original deadline was a formal agreement and you are requesting a formal, agreed-upon adjustment to the timeline.
It's like a rescheduling.
It is rescheduling, a request for additional time, not a confession of failure or a casual, I can't finish.
Yeah, using extension right away frames the conversation as a discussion about timeline management, which is a professional function, rather than just like needing more time because things got hard.
It sets a completely different tone. Phrases like, could I request an extension on the press kit deadline? Or, would it be possible to get an extension? Position it correctly from the start.
Okay.
What's powerful about that word is it immediately shifts the focus from maybe personal struggle to project timeline management. But once you use that word, you have to explain why you need it.
Right.
And this is where your sources give us tools to explain the reality without sounding like you're manufacturing excuses.
Okay, so they point to phrases like ran into and delayed.
Ran into is excellent for describing unforeseen obstacles or problems you encountered during the work. It implies that you were actively working and then hit a snag.
Something unexpected.
Exactly, something that wasn't necessarily expected or within your direct control.
Like with this press kit project, maybe you were working on the design and you ran into unexpected technical issues with the layout software, or you were waiting for assets and ran into a delay in getting the final high-resolution logos approved.
Yeah, approved by the client, maybe? It describes the event or the obstacle. And delayed is the perfect verb to describe the impact of that obstacle on your progress. It's concise, it's factual.
So you could say, we ran into some unforeseen compatibility problems with the image files, which has delayed our progress on the press kit layout, something like that.
Precisely. These phrases focus on objective facts and circumstances. They explain what happened to the project timeline, not why you personally might be perceived as falling behind.
Okay, that makes sense. And sometimes the reason for the delay is truly outside your immediate purview, right? Your sources specifically address explaining when something is completely out of your hands with the phrase, it's beyond my control.
Yes, this phrase is potent, but it needs careful handling. It clearly states that the root cause of the delay originates externally, Maybe you're dependent on another department for information, waiting on a third-party vendor.
Or a system-wide software glitch affecting the press kit work.
Right. So you could say the delay in receiving the final executive sign-off on the messaging is beyond my control. But T and your sources are very clear on this. You cannot use this phrase and just wash your hands of it.
Right. You can't just leave it there.
No. It must be immediately followed by what you are doing to manage the impact or mitigate the issue.
So you're still taking responsibility for managing the fallout, even if you didn't cause the initial problem.
Exactly. You might add, however, I've already escalated the request with the executive assistant. Or, but I'm working on a provisional layout using placeholder text in the meantime. It shows you're still actively problem solving.
Okay, got it. All of this language, this careful explanation, it's all designed to help you avoid that major pitfall your sources warn against. Sounding like you're making excuses or being perceived as having put this off.
Yeah, those are the two big dangers. Making excuses implies shifting blame, offering weak justifications, or trying to wriggle out of responsibility.
It's the opposite of a professional assessment.
Totally. Vague, sort of hand-wavy reasons sound like excuses. Specific, verifiable reasons, described with objective language like, I ran into X issue, generally do not.
And the danger of appearing to have put this off, well, that's huge. To put something off means to delay doing something you should have done. Procrastination, basically.
And trust is so easily eroded if it looks like you've waited until the last minute because you were procrastinating. Even legitimate reasons can sound, well, hollow at that point.
Which circles back to that crucial point about proactive communication. Telling someone the moment you see a potential issue is really the best defense against looking like you procrastinated.
Absolutely. And your sources even suggest a subtle phrase that can help signal that you've been aware of challenges and planning to discuss them. I've been meaning to.
That's interesting. How does saying I've been meaning to discuss the press kit deadline with you actually help?
Well, it suggests that you've been aware of potential challenges for a little while and have been planning to bring them up as part of your ongoing project updates.
So it's not like a sudden panic.
Right. Rather than it being a sudden reactive conversation forced by an imminent miss, it adds a layer of sort of thoughtfulness.
So, I've been meaning to update you on the press kit timeline. We've ran into a slight hiccup getting the final assets, which has delayed our progress.
Exactly. It frames the request as a planned project discussion. Although, of course, your sources remind us this isn't a substitute for genuinely timely communication.
Right. You can't use this if you literally only thought about it 2 hours before the deadline.
Definitely not. Fair point.
Okay, so we understand the way of the deadline. We have the objective language for the why. We know the professional term for the request extension. We know the pitfalls to avoid, making excuses, putting it off, and how to signal proactivity with, I've been meaning to. How do you actually start the conversation? Your sources talk about the hook.
Yeah, the opening line is critical. It needs to be professional, respectful of their time, and clearly signal the purpose of the conversation without immediately launching into a defensive explanation.
Right, so not something like, oh God, about the press kit.
Definitely not. Your sources suggest approaches like, do you have a moment to discuss the press kit deadline? Simple, polite, direct.
Okay.
Or, I'd like to provide a quick update on the press kit project and discuss the timeline. This frames it as a standard update, very proactive.
I like that one.
Or if you've maybe touched on the project before. Following up on our earlier chat about the press kit, I've got a bit more clarity on the timeline now.
These hooks are all about setting the stage for a professional discussion about a project's status and timeline adjustment, not starting with an apology or an excuse.
Exactly. They prepare the ground for the information you're about to share, making it easier for the other person to receive it constructively.
Okay, so putting all of this together, the material you shared essentially provides a kind of strategic framework for this conversation. It's not just a list of words, but a sequenced approach.
It really is. First, understand the interconnectedness and impact of the deadline that informs the urgency of your communication. Second, identify the specific, factual reasons for the delay, using objective language like ran into, delayed, and beyond my control, being ready to follow up with your mitigation efforts.
Third, determine and propose a new, realistic deadline. Don't just ask for an extension. Suggest a specific new date based on your assessment of the situation. That's important.
Very important. Fourth, craft your opening hook to start the conversation professionally. Fifth, explain the situation clearly and concisely, sticking to facts and absolutely avoiding anything that sounds like making excuses.
Sixth, you need to reiterate your commitment to the project and delivering high-quality work just on an adjusted timeline. And finally, be prepared for questions. This is a dialogue, right? Aimed at finding the best path forward together.
Yes. And what's particularly insightful from your sources is the reframing. Asking for an extension effectively, using the strategic approach, isn't a sign of failure at all. It's actually a sign of strong project management.
Really? How so?
Well, it shows you're aware of dependencies, you can identify issues early, you communicate proactively, and you take responsibility for finding solutions. That's good management.
Huh. It elevates the conversation from a potentially uncomfortable confession to a necessary professional discussion about navigating project complexities.
Absolutely. It transforms a moment of potential anxiety into an opportunity to demonstrate professionalism and competence under pressure.
Okay, so let's pull the core insights from this deep dive into your sources. Understanding the systemic impact of deadlines is non-negotiable for timely communication. Frame your request professionally using the term extension. Describe obstacles objectively with language like ran into, delayed, and beyond my control, always paired with your mitigation efforts. Actively avoid the perception of making excuses or having put it off by being proactive.
Right.
Use phrases like, I've been meaning to signal thoughtful awareness when appropriate. And always prepare a clear professional opening hook to set the right tone for the conversation.
Mastering this approach is incredibly valuable, far beyond just this press kit scenario you mentioned. It's a fundamental professional skill applicable whenever projects hit unexpected snags, which, let's be honest, is pretty often.
Yeah, that's true. And perhaps the thought to leave you with from this deep dive is this. Consider how truly mastering this kind of transparent, proactive communication, rooted in objective facts and professional language, doesn't just manage the immediate challenge of a slipping deadline, but fundamentally builds trust and strengthens your reputation as a reliable, competent professional over the long term.
Thanks for listening. And if you found the video helpful, please hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you never miss an episode, and share it with others who might benefit. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, we'd love to hear from you. So your feedback is really important to us. And if you want to continue learning right now, here in this playlist, you'll find helpful videos for English listening practice. You might want to watch it next. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.